there's a person who utilizes that transaction, right? Parent or child, right? And my kid can go buy it in the store. I'm buying it for them, but they're going to use it, right? So that you said you told other people after the fact. Okay. Over here. Satisfied purchase.
Mine's also like a pair of shoes recently.
Motivated why? Did you need a pair of shoes or you just wanted a pair
I
of
just
shoes?
wanted, I
Okay.
wanted a new pair of shoes.
Were they in a particular category of shoes, like walking, running?
I just wanted like a cool, um, everyday sneaker.
So relatively casual but comfortable enough to kind of walk in all the time. Okay, where'd you buy it from?
Online.
Okay, you bought them online. What was the major motivating factor to make the purchase when you saw the shoes compared with others? Like Ebba, it was decently priced, or these look super cool.
I just really, wanted a pair of colorful shoes.
Okay.
So I looked in my closet and thought, oh, what would look good with what I have, like what clothes I have. And so when I saw this pair of bright yellow string shoes, I was like, yeah, those are the ones.
Okay, and why did you choose the platform you went to buy it on? Because it's quick?
It was, you can't buy them anywhere here in the US, so it was like an easy way, just an easier.
Okay,
The
so
only,
they don't have them.
the only way really to get them.
Alright, so there's no access to it here. And you feel satisfied, or you're like, hey, they're okay, maybe not as comfortable, they're cute, but not
I
comfortable.
would definitely get them in another color because they're really comfortable and they're not too big, like they fit really size, and they're just really comfy. Like I don't have feet hurting even if I'm like walking around for a while.
Alright, and post-purchase behavior, you tell other people about it, or you send a link to other people, like, hey, you know, this is where I got it?
I told my friends
Okay.
about them, or well, when they saw me with them, they asked about it, and I told them that they should get them because
Okay.
they're comfortable and cute. And I like them.
Only purchase I had was water brand that I usually get.
Think about it, the, greatest invention, one of the greatest in human history. Bottled water. Who thought of that? Take water, put it in a bottle and sell it. People would actually buy it. Right? That's one of the greatest things in human history. Since that and sliced bread. Right, what's sliced bread? Bread that's already sliced. You slice it yourself? Yeah, I don't want to. So I'll pay extra $1. Right? Right, we'll charge you extra $1. For what? For slicing the bread. Right? We'll charge you for water. You're like, isn't the tap water good enough? I mean, probably I think Chicago has the greatest tap water in the United States in terms of purity, taste, all of the factors, right? Maybe one of the most healthiest in the entire United States. So bottled water. Tell me about bottled water and the brand that you bought over what you previously bought.
I got Kirkland. Usually I get like some of the other brands that bigger names. They come with less for about the same price as this, where I'll get usually like 12 more in a pack for this, and quality's about the same to me. So I thought it was a better purchase.
Quality is to you for bottled water. Taste, what is it to you?
I find it hard to like different tastes in bottled water for the most part. I'm sure if I like really focus, maybe I could do it, but
Yeah.
I just wanted more for my money, basically.
Fine. Okay, and Kirkland is Costco's brand, correct? Alright, so you found one, price was a major determining factor. Okay, and do you shop at Costco all the time, and that's also a major determining factor? Or
Sometimes Costco, sometimes Mariano's, just depends. But
depends between the two. Okay, bottled water. If anybody wants to become a billionaire quickly, bottled water. Hey, what's the selling gimmick for this? How do you get one person to buy this versus other brands? What do you do? What's being sold? Right? You're selling a package. So he who has the coolest looking package for the relatively decent cost, because the package may get a little pricey, right? You think a Smart Water looks cool, Voss Water looks cool, Evian kind of looks good. I think Evian's the best tasting water. And then what's the other game? Like, hey, add a pinch of salt. Why am I gonna add a pinch of salt to the water?
Electrolytes or better hydration or something like that.
Okay, that could be a reason. What's the other reason?
So doesn't it make you like more thirsty in the water to do that?
Hey, add some salt so they could be thirsty and get another bottle of water. Right? Salt absorbs water. So, add a pinch of salt, right? It says electrolytes, yada, yada, yada. But it makes you thirsty, now you need a second bottle of water, right? Great, it works, and we buy it, right? Because it says subconscious, we're not even thinking about it. Quickly, so we could just move on to the beginning of this dissatisfied purchase, a purchase that you have recently, like, never again. Restaurant, product, service, banking, anything. I think, for me, I would say a Mexican restaurant that I tried. So Mexican food is probably my favorite food, right? So I'm like, okay, get tacos or burritos, keep it simple, is usually be okay. But everyone knows that there's specific Mexican restaurants like, dude, they got the best steak tacos, or this one has the best al pastor, this one has the best picadillo, this one has the best rice and beans. But if you just randomly have a craving for Mexican food and just go to any hole in the wall, a lot of times you'd be disappointed, right? So I think I did that too, and they were pricey. They're like tacos, like $4 a taco now or something. I think I spent like taco down like close to $15, and it was just blah. You just eat food and it's just no flavor. It's just nothing. So never again for me. But that's my experience. All right, so moving along. All right, so in this chapter, we're looking at relationship between consumer needs and product utility. We're trying to find out the psychological processes behind consumer behavior, what drives, motivates individuals, motives, right? Interpersonal influences, how our family and society and friends and individuals are tied closely to us, and then some non-personal influences that help us. Remember we say, hey, we're constantly focused on integrated marketing channels in this class. So we're trying to figure out different ways about going about using marketing. So we're always talking about the IMC. So we say, hey, marketing used by management to plan and execute the conception, price, and promotion, the 4 Ps, right? Many tools, one of many just used in our aspect of marketing. So how do we create satisfied exchanges, right? We say, hey, we're exchanging one thing for another. We're giving you a product, you're giving us money in some capacity, right? And we have to have you feel that this perception of exchange is valid. So if you giving us a certain amount of money, we don't want you walking away even questioning if it was worth that. So really we're talking about the value or worth of something. Is the Snickers bar worth $2.89 now? Right? I don't know, that's a good question. We talk about inflation, really, we think of things like inflation, and we say everybody's paying that, so it's just a non-factor. Or you say, still go to Walmart, may still have the candy bar for $1.29 or something. Utility, right? It's ability to satisfy both functional needs and symbolic wants. We saw an individual who's more utilitarian, right? I would say for myself, it's a middle ground between form and function. So maybe first, I may look to the aesthetics. First, maybe primarily. And then I'll see how functional it works. For you, you're saying, no, it's all about, it works for what I need, right? It's the utility. I need it. I need something to be satisfied in this functional area. Function is symbolic. We say things are symbolic. Everything in our mind has symbols to them, has a meaning to them, right? We see things in symbolic ways. Even my words that come out of my mouth are pictographs in your mind, right? You see them almost as images. This is how we were taught as children. And our role here in advertising is to communicate this utility. It's actually to create a want, right? Create a desire in some way, or create something that you think is useful. Apple's ads succeed because they speak to Apple consumers and address the utilities these consumers want. Right, so we see here, we got a MacBook, the greatest family of MacBooks. What is Apple trying to convey here to customers? In some sort of utilitarian way. What do you think? What's the message? What do you think? Yes?
Is it cause like they're not using paper and it's all electronics, so they're like going green since they're like saving the planet by?
Yeah, Apple's like, hey, look what Pierce's guy is like working, right? They're doing a ton of work. You say, well, don't you need an office with a bunch of stuff? And Apple's kind of like, no, you just need this. If you had a bunch of stuff, there'd be a lot more waste, right? Wouldn't be as green, wouldn't be as efficient way of living. Our customers are efficient. They care about the planet, right? They want to be responsible to the environment. They love green options, right? Other customers may not so much. They're like, yeah, I don't really care. Show me the cheapest price for what it does. And Apple's like, hey, this green might come at a cost. I'm glad that you are emotional towards the environment, right? And the future generations and all the philosophies, ideologies that you have. But it's gonna come at a cost. And some people say, yeah, I don't care, right? I'm gonna pay for that responsible behavior of the MacBook. It's green, right? Apple's promoting minimalism, and once again, it still almost looks like an art space, right? Apple's all about aesthetics. Exchanges, perceptions, and satisfaction. The sun is what color? What color is the sun?
Orange, yellow, red,
What color?
violet.
Orange, yellow, red, what is it? Orange. The sun is a star, correct? When you look in the night sky, what color are stars? What makes the sun any different? Right? So we say, hey, human beings, there's a huge difference between perception and reality to a sense, right? We're humans, so we perceive things in a human way. And maybe the perception may be even different than our senses, right? So we say, hey, a little bit of difference between perception and even sensation, right? The marketers know this. We use a ton of things in psychology for this. For example, one of the best things to use in an ad is a baby or cats or dogs, right? So you go on TikTok, which gets the most views, cat videos, right? Dog videos, and baby videos, right? Usually we even find people more attractive aesthetically if they have baby features, which is a close-knit grouping of like eyes, nose, and mouth. Very symmetrical, but close, right? Usually those people are deemed to be the most beautiful people. They kind of have baby features, right? But we can become fixated on them. So if you use them in an ad, if you're focusing on the baby, the cat, or the dog, the viewer forgets about the product, right? And so when you use them, it may be a really good mechanism to use them, because like it gets attention first of all. But you gotta be tricky enough to say, hey, make sure we're having a baby cat or dog look at the product instead of looking at us. If the baby looks in the camera, we're gonna be fixated on it. But if the baby looks at the product, now we like baby and the product together, right? So it goes pretty deep, right? Remember we said colors. Colors create emotional stimulation. What colors use in order to create the perception of professionalism? What do you think color that is? In terms of a product, think of product you use. What color exudes professionalism universally? Blue, right? Because we've been attuned to Microsoft Windows for so long, right? So that background of the blue, usually a light or what they call a cool blue, exudes some sort of professionalism. And that also works in any other way. It could be a blue suit. So blue is really tied into the perception of professionalism, right? Even for the presidents, like Donald Trump usually always wears that blue suit. It works with the red tie. That works too. We say it's vibrant, stimulating, and eye-catching. Same with Ferrari, right? Same with all these other colors matter, but depending on what it is you're selling. So perception, exchange, satisfaction. So we just say, all right, we're exchanging, is it valid? Do I feel valuable with what I paid for the exchange? I gave them money, they gave me this, am I happy? The perception, right? We say the perception is relatively about how well do you feel about something, right? In terms of your symbols, your meanings, you as a person. Like this, yeah, this is me. This identifies me, my purchasing behavior. And then overall satisfaction, right? Does it stay in for how long, right? Does it meet the demand? Does it work for what you need it for? And are you gonna tell people about it? We need some free marketing, right? We need you to go on Yelp, that help us get more customers, go on our website, give us feedback, fill out a survey, all of the above. So these are the traditional cores of marketing. So we say perception is everything, right? You can sell, you're gonna have to sell yourself. You may feel, some people may have more self-esteem about themselves and more confidence, therefore they may sell themselves better than other students who went to the same school, who may even have the same level of intelligence, right? But we say perceiving is everything. Seller must provide information and inspiration for a product, right? You have to inspire one to want the product. You have to give information about what the product is all about. You want to create a perceived equal value exchange, right? You want to feel like it was valid. And create perception, marketers must understand customers, which means types of customers. All right, so satisfaction is the goal of the customer, right? So we are customer-centric, customer-focused. Yeah, we could be concerned about what we make and our ideals about what we create, how we service people. But at the end of the day, it's evolving, which means if you don't evolve your customers' needs and wants, you die, right? That means if you leave things as is, your competitors will take away your customers because they're evolving. So it must be achieved every time to maintain perception of equal value exchange. So the evolution of Nike with the cleats was, hey, we can't come out, maybe we could come out with the same leather shoes each year. But the marketing team says we can't. Why? Because our competitors are always offering something new. And what is this something new? It's the new perception of new. Like, really, they're not offering anything of value new. It's new, but it's not a value. Because you just told me you prefer the leather over the synthetic, right? So you're like, we actually took something away, but the fact that it's new is another stimulating factor to get somebody to buy something, right? Novelty, we like newness. So it's about changing that perception even of new, right? But it has to be constantly evolving. You have to offer new things all of the time. Satisfied customers are repeat purchasers, right? So we say most of your customers, the ones that keep the business thriving are those who constantly buy, not the one-offers who just come in one time. And then the IMC reinforces satisfaction, right? The way we go about conveying that message, all the different marketing sort of channels. All right, so who are our customers? Our current customers, we have to satisfy them, we have to keep them happy. Yeah, we do wanna give them the meat of kind of the same thing, but we always wanna add on a little bit of bonus as time evolves, whether that's in a sale, promotion, something for being a member of some sort, right? Maybe we'll change something slightly that they may like. And then we want prospective customers, right? Which we say, how do we get new people to buy something? How do we get new people to even know that we're offering something that's great? What do you think? What are some great ways to get prospective customers you see out there in the world? How do we get new customers?
Offering like free trials.
Okay, you say, hey, give them something that's motivating enough to pay attention to us, right? And to deem some sort of reward. You say, okay, that's one way. Another way could just be with the current customers. So the current customers may be highly influential in their social circles. They're gonna convey the message, they're gonna show the shoes, show the watch, right? It's gonna be a topic of discussion, and that'll also help. So we can use mostly our current customers to anchor getting prospective customers, right? Talking about new iPhones, telling your friends about the new shoes, telling everybody about Kirkland's bottle of water, right? That will get prospective customers too. Probably one of the greatest mechanisms of getting that. All right, so we think of customers, we're not just thinking of sort of retail or consumer customers, we're also thinking about businesses too, right? We gotta sell things to businesses, not just individuals. We're selling to groups, to individuals, to the government. We're selling things overseas, reselling things, right? We got industrial markets for those who manufacture. So we have all sorts of different markets that we need to understand. One is just the basic consumers, which are individuals. The second is businesses that we have to sell to. If we make something and they need it, how do we keep that relationship going? There's a whole different market there, right? You're manufacturing something, there's a lot of people to sell to, but there's also a lot of alternatives for people to buy. Government markets, such as what? What are some things that the government needs? What does the government need? Right? You say, hey, who's the largest employer in the United States? Government. Right? It's not Amazon. Right? The government is the largest employer of the United States. They need a ton of stuff. Right? Let's say a quasi-government sort of agency would be the Postal Service, right? Quasi. But they need a lot of paper, right? They need a lot of supplies in order to get that work done. If you work for the Social Security Administration, who's providing the paper? Who gives you the pencils, the pens, the boards? Who supplied the chairs for you to sit in, right? Institutional level. Who built the cabinets in this room, right? What kind of computers are we using at Concordia? Right, but for the government, you say the government needs a lot of things. It needs roads, the military. So So like, well, who actually is developing and providing the jets, the drones, to blow people up, the bombs, the guns? Manufacturers are, right? The government's not gonna have its own governmental manufacture of these things. The military can develop it, that will be kind of the function of that. But for the most part, they use things like Lockheed Martin and other companies, right? Huge government contracts. They're like, who's gonna build the US highway system? I don't know, several different companies that we'll contract with, right? They're providing something, they do it in concrete, all sorts of things. So the government's probably the major purchaser of all things, because you think the amount of money it has from taxes. It's much, right? So the government is a huge, huge market to go for. And then transnational or global markets, we say, hey, we conquered the United States, now we're gonna create a division or region in Europe as a car manufacturer, now we're gonna supply Europe with Tesla, and now we gotta supply, I don't know, somewhere in Africa with Tesla, right? Now we got whole different markets with whole different competitors, right? Maybe it'd be difficult to supply Tesla to China because China already has the most globally selling electric vehicle out there, right? Ad appeal. How does this ad showing empty nest parents, right? Parents whose children are leaving, holding a bag of celebrations candies, which are right here. Appeal to the important boomer market. Do you think the ad also appeals to younger consumers? What do you think? Is this ad appealing to the boomer market?
Seems so.
Hmm?
I'd say yeah.
How so?
Because it's like, oh, they're getting a little break from their kid after 18 years, because you're going to college or something, or just off into the world, and they can kind of celebrate that in a roundabout way.
Yeah, alright, they're like, celebrating because, hey, we see the kid getting out of there, get all their stuff. Mom appears to be like getting ready to already open it up. Dad's hiding because they don't want to share. They were sharing everything with this kid. And they don't want to share it. They don't have to share it, right? So get out of here, kid, right? We got our candy, we're happy, it's gonna be a whole new life now that you're gone. And it's exciting. Obviously, it kind of looks like they're in the suburb. White picket fence, your standard, right? Kind of like your dune buggy looking car, looks like a suburb, right? Gray hair, mom, dad, both, casual dress. Yeah, effective, right? A lot of thought goes into it. It doesn't seem like it, right? It doesn't seem like a lot of thought goes into it, but it does. If you pick the right people, the colors, right? The celebration candies are red, they stand out against a lot of the muted, kind of subtle colors. Appealing. And then lastly, I think I had a video here that we could watch before we get out of